friends, my name's Nadine and welcome to my Victober TBR. Victober is obviously the most wonderful time of the year, so I've been so excited, always, every year, so excited for Victober, and there's some great prompts this time as well, so I'm really happy with my stack here. So Victober is the month-long readathon where really all you've got to do is read a piece of Victorian literature in the month of October, and it can be, you know, Victorian poetry, short story, play, novels, whatever you like. But if you do want to go ahead with the prompts, that just sort of adds another dimension to it, and it's a lot of fun. And it's hosted by a bunch of lovely booktubers. I'll link all of the announcement videos down below because I can never remember everybody and I don't like to forget things. So without further ado, let me show you what I'm planning on reading. So the first prompt is read a Victorian work featuring a stranger or outsider. So for this I have chosen Oscar Wilde's The Canterville Ghost. So I read some Oscar Wilde for Victober about 4 years ago and I loved it so much I was like, oh, I'm going to read it every month now. I'm going to read something by Oscar Wilde, and I never picked this book up again. So I'm looking forward to cracking on and actually reading some more Wilde. So from what I can gather, The Canterville Ghost is about this American family that buy this English stately home to find that it is in fact haunted by the nobleman that once lived there, and he wants them out. So the family are the outsiders in this one. I'm really excited. I've heard it's fantastic. So the second prompt then, read a piece of Victorian New Woman fiction. So for that we have Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. So this says, Lady Audley's Secret subtly undermined the Victorian myth that female self-assertion was a form of insanity. At the same time, it established the prolific Mary Elizabeth Braddon as a leading sensation novelist, a rival of the master of the genre, Wilkie Collins. Flouting the Victorian convention of the blue-eyed wax doll heroine, Braddon presented a sexually attractive woman with great depth and complexity of character. A woman, as one contemporary critic put it, high-strung, full of passion, purpose and movement, very liable to error. Lady Audley's error, part of the secret of the title, is to allow crime and sin to threaten the apparently respectable middle-class world from which she stems. So, yeah. I don't know what the secret is, and I guess I will find out soon enough. But yeah, that sounds really interesting. Next, read a Victorian work by an author that is new to you. So for that, I've picked up a book that I bought for Victober last year and didn't get around to. So I still haven't read anything by this person, and it is Goblin Market and Other Poems by Christina Rossetti. I bought this lovely edition, couldn't wait to start it and just never did. I'm trying to keep some of the things that I'm reading kind of short because Victorian fiction is very long. So yeah, this is a shorter one to get into. And next, read a Victorian first-person narrative. So first of all, I was thinking about going for something by, some Sherlock Holmes, because obviously it's all narrated by Watson. But I really wanted to read this, and so I was excited when I flicked through and saw that it was narrated in the first person also. And that is Uncle Silas by Sheridan Le Fanu. So, let's see. Uncle Silas is an intriguing novel of deception. Its narrator, a young Victorian girl orphaned and left in the care of her sinister uncle, tells a highly charged story of intimidation, criminality and violence. Her uncle is assisted by a boorish son and a grotesque French governess in his attempts to seize his ward's fortune. But this atmospheric novel deceives even in its emphasis on deceit and conspiracy. Behind the conventions of wicked uncles and endangered heiresses, the novel reveals an intricate formal design in which the social collapse of the author's Anglo-Irish world and his metaphysical anxieties are ironically explored. So that sounds like there's going to be a lot to unpack in that one. And then the fifth prompt is read a Victorian work and that class features strongly. For this you could almost pick any Victorian fiction, because Class was such a big thing. Well, do you know what, it still is a big thing in England, especially, but yeah, in Victorian times Class was everything. But I have chosen Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. So it says, Jude Fawley, a stonemason, has already suffered. His academic ambitions were thwarted by his poverty and class. Trapped into a loveless marriage, he is now alone but not free. He comes to love his cousin Sue, who, seemingly emancipated, is herself miserably married. Sue's words to Jude are prophetic, for although together they defy conventional morality to seize a chance of happiness, they are ultimately defeated by both circumstance and the flaws within their own nature. I've heard that this can be quite a depressing read, but satisfying, so we'll see. I'm a little nervous about this one. I've had a bit of a mixed reaction to Hardy's work so far, so we'll see. We'll see. This I've owned for I don't know how long, years, so it's about time I get to it, really. And then finally there's the group read, which is The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. I don't know if I'm going to get to this one. I have this on my Kindle, but it's massive, and honestly I don't find I'm reading a lot on my Kindle at the moment. Just try and find the synopsis for you on that one, because I don't actually know what it's about. Yeah, I don't read a lot on my Kindle. It tends to be what I have in bed at night, and I'm normally so exhausted by the time I go to bed that I read a few pages and then fall asleep and it hits me on the face, and you know, I turn everything off and go to sleep properly. So I will try. My aim is to start it in October. So let's see if it tells us what it is about without giving anything away. So the story concerns Augustus Melmotte, a French swindler and scoundrel, and his daughter, to whom Felix Carberry, adored son of the authoress Lady Carberry, is induced to propose marriage for the sake of securing a fortune. Trollope's portrait of Lady Carberry, impetuous, unprincipled and unswervingly devoted to her own self-promotion, is one of his finest satirical achievements. In his kaleidoscopic depiction of a society on the verge of moral bankruptcy, Trollope gives us life as it was lived more than 100 years ago, while speaking eloquently to some of the governing obsessions of our own age. But it also says it's 776 pages. So we will see, because there's quite a lot to get through, and also I am wanting to read some horror in October as well, because you have to, it's the law, and I don't want to get into trouble. So yeah, those are my Victober reads. Let me know if you are taking part in Victober, if you've made any videos about it, let me know so I can check them out, because I'd love to see what everybody else is choosing to read this month. And if you're not making any videos but you're still taking part, let me know what you're reading, because I would love to chat about it with you. So yeah, that is it from me. I will catch you next time. Goodbye!